All right, welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you've been grinding away, tirelessly preparing for the IELTS Academic Writing Task 1, but you're just endlessly stuck at a band 6 or a 6.5, you are definitely not alone. It's incredibly frustrating, right? You practice, you memorize new words, you stare at endless bar charts until your eyes literally cross, but the score just won't budge. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're going to take a peek right behind the examiner's curtain to see exactly what they're looking for, and honestly, more importantly, what they are penalizing. Let's dive right in.
So to actually break through that band 6 plateau, we first have to understand the math behind the scoring formula. Your score is essentially a pie cut into 4 equal slices, each worth exactly 25%. This is absolutely crucial to understand because a lot of candidates over-index. They spend all their time cramming complex grammar or fancy vocabulary and completely ignore the other half of their score. You have to satisfy all 4 of these pillars if you want to hit a band 7 or higher.
Here's our quick roadmap for this explainer. 1. Decoding the marking criteria. 2. Task achievement mistakes. 3. Coherence and cohesion traps. 4. Lexical resource blunders. And 5. Grammar range and accuracy.
Part 1. Decoding the marking criteria, the blueprint for success.
What you are looking at right here is the actual official IELTS Key Assessment Criteria document. Now, these aren't just, random opinions from a tutor online. These are the strict grading rules and penalties that every examiner absolutely must follow. Understanding these guidelines is the fundamental solution to fixing those common score-killing errors. So, we're going to break down this document pillar by pillar, starting with that first 25%.
Which brings us to Part 2, Task Achievement Mistakes, the Rule versus the Trap.
The official rule for task achievement is incredibly strict. You have to fulfill the task using a minimum of 150 words, but look really closely at the rest of this definition. You need to present a clear overview of main trends, select key features, and report data accurately without any outside speculation whatsoever. Remember, it is a completely objective information transfer task. You are literally just reporting what you see.
Let me ask you something. Be honest. When you see a complex chart with dozens of data points, does panic set in? Do you try to write about everything? Because that prompt specifically says, summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features. If you just list every single number on the page, you are fundamentally failing the task.
So what are the biggest traps here? The most common task achievement mistake by far is a missing or unclear overview. The official marking criteria states you must present a clear overview to get a band 7. No exceptions. If you don't have one, your score is mathematically capped at a 6 for this pillar. Boom, done. Furthermore, do not put specific data numbers in that overview paragraph. It's an overview, keep it general. Another huge trap is describing data way too precisely. Like, if a bar chart line is hovering slightly above the 2000 mark, don't write 2034. Write just over 2000. We don't know the exact number, right? So don't invent one.
Let's move on to Part 3, Coherence and Cohesion Traps. Organizing the flow.
Now we're shifting gears from what data you choose to how that data is structured. Coherence and cohesion is really all about flow. Coherence means logical sequencing, like does your response actually make sense from top to bottom? Cohesion is about using varied natural devices, your logical connectors, conjunctions, pronouns, to link your ideas together super smoothly.
The official coherence and cohesion grading criteria strictly mandates paragraphing. There's no getting around it. A band 7 response has to flow effortlessly across very clear paragraphs. You want to group ideas together so logically that the examiner can easily understand the chart without even needing to look at it. But here's where people stumble. The absolute most dangerous trap, writing a fully memorized templated response. Examiners will actively penalize scripted fill-in-the-blank language. It has to be natural, connected text. And listen to me on this one. Absolutely no bullet points. Bullet points will completely destroy your score. You also need that logical paragraph structure, usually an intro, an overview, and 2 detailed paragraphs. And finally, please don't just mechanically insert linking words like a robot. Sticking firstly, secondly, and in conclusion at the start of every sentence sounds totally unnatural and it's going to hurt you.
All right, Part 4, Lexical Resource Blunders. Choosing the right words.
This 25% pillar is all about your vocabulary. But here's the secret.
Lexical resource isn't just about using the biggest, most complicated words you can find in a thesaurus. It's about the range, the precision, and the appropriateness of your words. Yes, you need to show you can use less common words, but they have to be used correctly with a very clear awareness of an academic style.
Just think about register for a second. If you use informal phrasing like loads of people or a big jump or it's going up, you are sinking your lexical resource score. You have to lock in that academic register. You want phrases like the dominant category, a dramatic increase, or a consistent upward trend. That is exactly the targeted trend language examiners are hunting for.
Let's run through the most common blunders. Number 1, never, ever use contractions like it's or don't in academic task 1. Spell them out. Number 2, repetition. If you write increases or shows 5 times, your score is firmly capped at a band 6. You need variety. But, and this is a massive but, do not memorize advanced synonyms if you don't fully understand their context. It is so much better to accurately write rose steadily than to wrongly write escalated exponentially. Examiners reward accurate use, not just fancy words used the wrong way.
Okay, Part 5, Grammar Range and Accuracy, the syntax pillar.
This final section looks at your absolute control over sentence-level structures, and it has a dual requirement. Range means you actually have to attempt a variety of sentence structures. Simple, compound, complex, maybe some passive voice in there. But accuracy means you have to execute them correctly, with strong control over your punctuation. To put that into perspective, let's look at the difference. A typical Band 6 response might sound kind of like this. Many people like online shopping. It is easy. It is fast. Right? It's accurate, sure, but the range is limited to short, shoppy, simple sentences. Now upgrade that to a Band 7+. Many people prefer online shopping because it is fast, convenient, and saves time. See how that flows? It effectively uses a subordinating conjunction because to create a complex sentence that showcases true grammatical range.
So avoiding these common mistakes is absolutely crucial. Relying only on simple sentences will completely lock you out of a Band 7. But on the flip side, you really have to watch out for those foundational errors that tend to creep in when you're writing under pressure. Things like basic subject-verb agreement, writing people is instead of people are, or messing up your verb tenses when you're clearly describing data from 1990. And please, don't forget your articles, a, an, and the. The rule of thumb here is to focus on accuracy first, and then build in the complexity, because a broken complex sentence will just drag your score right back down.
As we wrap this explainer up, I want you to focus on this one quote, derived right from our source material on the grading updates. Learn how to build arguments, not how to fill in blanks. The examiner's criteria, it's just a tool to measure genuine language ability. Real success comes from mastering these 4 pillars, practicing accurately, and expressing the data logically. It doesn't come from memorizing some rigid cheat sheet.
So I'll leave you with this. The next time you sit down with a practice chart, what's your strategy going to be? Are you going to rely on a memorized script and just risk the penalties? Or will you master this rubric, respect the 4 pillars of task achievement, coherence, lexical resource, and grammar, and finally secure that Band 7? The blueprint is literally in your hands. Happy studying.